Greetings, this is Vane and welcome back to Let's Play Hammerting. Early Access version 0.4. Now, there was a lot of reading, but in the last episode we got round to doing a stone quarry and exploring some tunnels. And we found some bits. And we got some mounting lore so that we can explore metallurgy. So why don't we do that? Increase our knowledge to unlock new abilities, technologies, rooms and magics. Okay, and here's the knowledge tree. Basically all knowledge is organised in tiers. You need some knowledges to get others. They're unlocked by a combination of either mountain lore or trade lore, and they go all the way up to tier 9. But we want metallurgy. The knowledge of blacksmithing allows us to construct smithies and to work base metals into various simple tools. That's the one that one selected there. We want metallurgy. The knowledge of metallurgy allows us to construct foundries and smelt copper ore, taking us the first steps on the path to mastery of dwarven artifice. The furnace roared as arcs of metal poured from its molten innards into the casting mould. Thus were the stars first made. That's the Nebudian Chronicle. So we've got you and we've completed that quest, and we have 2 new quests. We have Righteous Affluence. We should build large vaults and fill them to the brim. Let the riches of our mountain hoard shine. Let it blind the most vile goblin, no matter how deep in the mountain it is hiding. Let the light beam out into the night sky, expelling the darkness as though a second sun had appeared. To do that we need to construct a large vault, and then we need to fill it. We won't be doing that for some time because the large vault is very far along on the tech tree. We also have Strike the Earth. In order to delve deeper into the mountain, we will sooner or later have to clear away the debris of the ages and put pick to stone to mine. Select mine orders from the action menu and drag select relevant areas to issue to mine it out. Okay, so we want to mine 4 copper ore. Copper is a material commonly found around the Great Entrance and is useful for most early metal production purposes. Locate some copper and mine it out. Well, we've got some copper here we can do, so how about that? And now what I like to do is, if I can see it, I'm going to set it to mine it out, because basically it's a way of reminding me where all our ore is. As you can, and it can be quite sneaky. So we're just going to do the bits around us for now. I mean, if they can't reach something, which a lot of this they can't, then that action will just stay there until it can be fulfilled. So we've got this little bit of ore here. Also, because I want to try and explore the mountain rather than shape it at the moment, I am purposely trying not to change too much of the form of the mountain itself. We will basically work around it. Means I'm not digging out unnecessarily. Now you'll see, I mean, we've also got iron here. So we can build up some reserves of iron. And there's also some coal. Okay. So we'll get working on that. It shouldn't take too long because all our dwarves are excellent miners. There we go. That's 4 coal. That's 4 copper. Okay, now we've got to do the first pour. Our recent advances in metallurgy, combined with the acquisition of copper ore, have prepared us to pour the first batch of red-hot copper ingots. Copper is a versatile metal, often used for early metalwork in a young mountain home. So we need to construct a small foundry. Foundries smelt ore into ingots, which can be further refined to tools and other goods in smithies. Construct a small foundry from the rooms menu. And then we need to craft 4 ingots. Ingots are the primary units of refined metal and a necessary component for both the construction and operation of smithies and other metalworking processes. Smelt copper ingots in the small foundry we built. Okay. So we go to rooms. We want to build a small foundry. Now I'm going to put it here. Okay. Now you'll notice that because all the rooms build back into the wall. So what will happen is that anything that's covered, like this patch here and this little bit here, will automatically be mined out as part of the building process. So we don't lose that copper. Okay, check. Got dwarves. Yep. Okay. Our next dwarf, and we're not dismissing her, is a Goral Ganistaval of Clan Rockcrusher. But we'll find more about her when we recruit her because we need more coin. And let's look at how combat works. Your dwarves will occasionally come into combat with the fierce creatures populating the deep mines of the mountain. Dwarves' ability to damage their enemies is governed by the level of their militia profession, as well as the quality of the weapon they are using. Your dwarves will automatically engage nearby enemies, and you can also order them to attack by using the attack command in the action menu by selecting a dwarf and right-clicking on an enemy. We don't actually have enemies at the moment because I've turned off enemy waves, so they're not actually coming towards us at this point. But we will find them. There are enemies. It doesn't turn off enemies, it just means that they don't. Meanwhile, we want to craft 4 copper ingots. So let's craft 4 copper ingots. We want to make sure there's 4 copper ingots at all times. Copper. An ingot of reddish metal useful for the most basic construction purposes. The Nebridian Chronicle holds that copper was the arch metal in the first smelting. Okay. So they grab some ore, which is mostly on the floor at the moment because I'm not storing it. And the smelting begins. Okay, so next up comes the roar of the furnace. With a steady stream of smelted copper secured, we can continue striking a relentless beat of progress by establishing a metalworking industry proper to harness metal for yet higher purposes. So I want to construct a steel smithy. Most metalcraft takes place in the various smithies available to us. Construct a small smithy from the rooms menu. Note that you may need to acquire new knowledge to do so. Which we do. Okay, then we want to class 1 blacksmith's hammer. With a small smithy constructed, use it to produce a blacksmith's hammer. Note that the hammer is constructed from 2 part components, a handle and a head, and that you will need to craft those first and separately before producing the hammer itself. Okay, so we go here. We need blacksmithing to get our small smithy. So we'll do you, and that is the knowledge of blacksmithing. Allows us to construct smithies and to work base metals into various simple tools. Where force and precision combine to shape metal into form using deliberate and thoughtful action, smithing occurs. A dwarven life is an ingot pounded in its course by the hammer of will. That's rum or room, dwarven philosopher. Okay, give us a new room, and we're going to build it right next to our foundry. Now you'll see that we can place that there. Okay, doesn't put the floor in, but it does eat through rock. This will be mined out as part of the building process, so look forward to seeing that. And that's what we needed the 4 copper ingots for. So let's take those 4 copper ingots and start building. And because we always want 4 copper ingots, another dwarf will come and do some smelting. Okay, we got 2 dwarves. You've got this little plus is unspent talent points. So, every 5 levels, let's see what their talents are going to be. We have a talent tree. You know, where just sort of you need certain talents in a certain order and certain specific things to open them up. But each one costs 1 talent point, and get everyone at every 5 levels, and the talents open up further as you go down. So now I like to specialise, and Arnulf is super robust with his 7 robustness. So let's have a look. Let's go with rugged mindset. This dwarf has grown accustomed to the hardships of frontier life in a new colony and accepts the vicissitudes of life in the mountain as they are. So we get plus 100 extra health and plus 1 robustness, which also adds to health. So we'll acquire that. There we go. And if we look at... And we're going to take... we're going to have some fairly robust dwarves. So... there you go. They are going to be good. Okay, let's learn more about knowledge. The knowledge interface allows you to acquire new knowledge at costs in trade or mountain lore, unlocking new crafts, builds and abilities. Acquire mountain lore by exploring the mountain, and trade lore by completing missions on the overworld map. However, hover over available knowledges to learn more about them and click to purchase them. You can find the knowledge interface in the top bar, available by pressing the beaker icon. Okay, short and sweet. Short and sweet. Okay, we want... we want to craft the blacksmith's hammer. We only want the one, and it needs 1 hammerhead and 1 handle. So, we need to craft a handle, which the only one we've got at the moment is a straight handle, which is level 3 and requires a 1 ingot. And then we need a hammerhead, of which we have the sledgehammer head, and also requires one ingot. So like those three we have. An ironworker's hammer loaded to the brim with forceful blows to make sparks fly and metal sing. Straight and true, this handle is the most basic tool component in all dwarfdom, a necessity for further tool making, because every tool needs a handle. Then we have the sledgehammer head. Crude hammerhead, well adapted for the purposes of blacksmithing work or for knocking the occasional goblin over the head. So that's what we're going to do. So, smelting ore gets loaded up, and somewhat the blacksmith starts. And as you can see, they start by doing. The list goes in order. Start doing the straight handle. Obviously they ran out of smelted ore because they had a couple of failures by the looks of it. But that's okay. So now we've got one straight handle, and crafting will move on to the sledgehammer head. If you look in the inventory, we can see the handle and the head that's just been made, and now they're being done. And that's a bit weird. It wasn't. They made two handles because they like to have a handle in reserve, you know. Because anything that's reserved isn't counted. And once it's been reserved, it's like, okay, that's for that. Okay, so we've made our blacksmith's hammer, which gives us a few more missions to do. Raise the hammer. With the new tool crafted, we can proceed to equip one of our dwarves with it to increase his ability and make it easier for him to perform the tasks the Mountainhome sets before him. Items crafted end up in the inventories of rooms that crafted them. Right-click a new tool and assign it to one of your dwarves. You may need to ensure that he can actually get to it. Yeah. Okay, we'll do it to you. See you? See you? We're going to equip you. No, we're doing that. We want to do that the other way around. See you. We're going to put you in here. Go to the inventory. Right click on you to equip you. Who's our best blacksmith? Obviously, you are. So it's going to go to Arnulf. And it's an upgrade over what they've got anyway. So it's going to. Pop it there. So it's been reserved for Arnulf. Arnulf is going to take the first sledgehammer. Of course, for now, that was quick. They're going to just keep smithing hammers for now, while we learn a bit more about mining. In order to advance through the mountain, your dwarves will invariably have to mine it out. Issue mine orders by selecting the mine command from the action menu and left-click drag to select an area to be mined out. There are two types of tiles that can be mined out: foreground material tiles and background content tiles. Mining out the former will create paths and spaces for your dwarves to traverse and use, and mining out the latter will give you resources like coal and copper, which you can use in building and crafting. The dwarf's mine speed is determined by the material being mined, the quality of its pickaxe and its profession skill, as well as the miner. Most tiles will occasionally drop some resources, even if only granite chunks, which the dwarves can use. Okay. We also establishing sovereignty. To learn formalised life. Before we can expand our Mountainhome further and recruit more dwarves, we must establish our sovereignty. Okay. Learn, formalise, learn. Sovereignty is needed to recruit dwarves. You can see the current value in the top bar increases upon learning various knowledges. which in this case is formalised learning. We also have Mountainhome. We have made a home here in the damp and cold under a terrible peak, yet we do not truly live here. In order to flourish, our people need dwellings to call their own. Construct dwellings and assign dwarves to live in them. Construct a dwelling. A dwelling provides a place to rest and a place for dwarves to stash their coin. Without appropriate lodgings, dwarves will eventually become unable to withdraw their regular H's from the communal coffers, eventually causing their greed meters to run perilously low. Okay. Assign a dwarf to a dwelling. Dwarves must be assigned to dwellings before they can use them. Click a constructed dwelling and assign a dwarf to it. Simple. We also have another dwarf over here who needs to have a talent, and again they're extremely robust, so we're having some very robust dwarves. Okay, now, so in order to get a dwelling, we need to have dwarven trade relations. Establishing trade relations with other mountainhomes will allow us to construct new dwellings and recruit additional colonists. Only 3 of our mules now remain. We turn north with some hesitation, returning again in the direction of the lock, hoping to reach the hold at Moonvale before the 4 make the river delta unfordable. Ready Wayfare, 15 leagues to Melbourne. Now before we can get that, we need to find trade law. In order to get trade law, we need to do trading. So, let's have a look at the Overworld. To the Overworld! Okay. The Overworld. Welcome to the Overworld. This is a world inhabited by other people than just dwarves. From kingdoms of humans to orcish war tribes surround your mountain home, trying each day to expand their reaches. Trade wares and fulfill missions in order to improve your reputation with these factions. Starting off with the interface, the top bar remains the same in the mountain home, except with the new Mountainhome icon that returns you to the mountain. Okay, so this, which is a toggle. Take note that the game won't pause automatically when you open the Overworld. This can be changed in the options menu. It's paused because I paused the game generally, so that we can go through, and because we can go through the tutorial. Don't necessarily have to go to the Overworld to be able to deal with people on the Overworld. So it's just a kind of for your information type thing. The outliner now looks slightly different, now showing contents related to the Overworld. Not really, because I've set it up so that we can see Overworld while we're in the mountain home, but otherwise it would have shown this, which is what he's pointing to, and Overworld missions and a couple of other things. This is your mountain home, Tel Zafgar. Remember, that's what we called it. Watching the world from its high perch. From here you command your dwarves and change the world with your influence. Okay, so this is our mountain home. This is us. These are paths. Over here lies the town known as Gramthorn. Leave a good impression by trading with them to earn trade law and explore new locations. Okay, this is the location window for Gramthorn. From here you can buy and sell wares or pick up missions. Okay. This area details the specific location. Here you can see the location's health, their fortification, or your trade level with the location. Okay. Each location is part of a larger faction. Gramthorpe in particular is part of Zakath. In this area you can find statistics about the faction. Okay. Manpower and might are shared with all locations under the same banner. And whenever they're amassed enough resources, the factions will send out armies to combat their foes. Okay. The notice board will list current events that are transpiring within the location. This area lists either what you can buy from this location, what you can sell, or what missions are available. Whenever you buy or sell items from a location, you can see in this area what items are currently being traded. Go beyond the world awaits. It's time for you and your entourage of fellow dwarves to spread the good word of your colony. make allies or enemies, and venture beyond the halls of stone for glory and riches. Stone and steel. Let the world know of the dwarves of Terraria. Finish. Okay, well, we've got missions. This is a Grand Fort, which is a town. And it is in Zakath, which dread Zakath, the Ashen West, is a bleak wasteland whipped by roaring storms of dust and thunder. Why the Black Land was charred, no one knows, but legend speaks of foul misdeeds and of a punishment from heaven itself. Few are the travellers who passed Zunbelach into Zakath, and fewer still return. Okay. We have the mission, which is First Contact, which is to acquire first trade level. Here's what we can buy. We can buy gauze, honey and Vendari lumber, and we can sell stuff. And this is to sort by demand, so we can sell granite and we can sell all our water. Well, for a start, let's sell. I mean, the game's on pause, so it'll keep going as we're doing it, but let's sell our granite, because we might be able to make some more granite, right? So sell all blocks of granite. Gives us 52 copper. Could sell the water, we're not going to bother, and we're going to end up back. Well, and basically, one of our dwarves will grab that copper, will grab the granite, disappear out, and go. Okay, let's find out about building. Rooms and infrastructure are the central building blocks of the Mountainhome and provide the means of production, storage, rest, healing, transportation, and all the other functions necessary for the survival of a dwarven colony. Order the construction of rooms and infrastructure from the action menu. Once you click a production icon in the action menu, a footprint of the building will appear with blue hammers indicating a valid building position. Click again to issue the command to build the selected building. You can hold down shift to place multiple instances of the building. There we go. So we can see that. So I've got some outdated equipment. Is everyone doing everything else? As we've got, oh, this is an indication there's another mission. Now I know there's a bug. You click that, it should take you to the mission or to whatever, but instead it crashes the game at the moment. So we won't be doing that way. We have Rista. Let's see, her is further, which we've got. So let's do. Next one down is awareness. Awareness. This dwarf sees the natural world around him in clearer focus than his peers, and is able to deduce its secrets with surprising ease. So, awareness is increased by 2, experience gain is increased by 3%, and its vision range is increased by 3. We're going to have that. The power of observation. Makes a fairly good explorer in terms of sight. Okay. Want to see, can we get another dwarf yet? Yes, we can, but we can't afford them. We need to sell more stuff. So let's go back to the overworld. We're going to Grand Fort. And we have this mission, Expedited Expeditions. We're itching to explore the lands around Grand Fort. With the right equipment, we can make it happen. Sure, we'll do that. Okay, in order to complete the objective, the specified goods must be delivered to this location. Okay, so is there anything we can sell? Well, we can sell water. We'll be fine, right? Or not. We'll come back. Because we want to sort out the lantern. Now the lantern, we saw under here, is a tool. Well, not quite a tool. It's similar to a tool. A flickering candle encased in glass and metal to be a light in dark places. So we'll have you craft one of those. That can be delivered. So that we can get that mission. That will hopefully with us because we're kind of waiting for some trade law. Now, you may have noticed that there's all this stuff in the ground. Well, a lot of it is the stuff we've dug up. I mean, this is copper ore, you know, so they just dropped from where we are. But we've also got things like this, where a stack of, like the stack of sacks, a stack of sacks with unknown content, some by some calamity or by some forgetfulness, denied their intended purpose. So we can harvest these. Okay, rotting logs. The wind in the leaves and the trees of the forest where these mighty logs were once hewn still mourns their passers, and only the wind knows why or how they ended up here. So we're basically grabbing everything. That's what that shimmering is. The shimmer is that it's something that you can pick up. Okay. We can pick up mushrooms as well. Rounded spotted bullet. One of many variants of cave mushrooms growing in the depths of the cavernous pit under the mountain. Now these restore energy, but they reduce health. You can also find other things in the cave as well, like the suckle vine tater, a sizable tutor of some cave growing plant, suckle vine carrots, so the yellow ring milk cap. Oh, there is. That is, what is that? There's a something there we can fight. Not sure what that is. I believe. Well, let's get to it. Sly fox. Foxes are traditionally considered a sign of good luck among dwarven kind. This good omen of the overworld must have snuck in through the entrance somehow. Okay. Kill it. It's not that good luck. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all that we can see down here. Up here we have square leaf beet. Now that means that no dwarf who is able to allow to do this job can find their way here. That's because it's too high. We need to resolve that. But I will mark them out anyway because it's reminding me there, and once we get up there, which we will, it can be dealt with. The same reason for mines. Grab you. Got a bit up there. Oh, we've explored this little bit here, so let's have a look. Not much, but we can grab you. With a stack of sacks. And, well, we can get some more mushrooms if we need more mushrooms. And conveniently, that's that will give them something to do while we're deciding what they're doing. May also give us more stuff to sell. Also. Because we're going to build one more building, which is important for us at the moment, and it's the small vault. Even the most affluent and successful dwarven mine colonies started out modestly. A small vault is a humble but important step towards reaching those heights, or depths if you will. This building will store a small amount of gold, keeping it safe in the Mountainhome. Okay, so we're going to pop you there. Now it's telling us we've not got any copper ingots. Well, no, because we're out. They're busy doing other stuff at the moment, because apparently grabbing stuff is also high priority. But it's easily dealt with. You don't have to, as you can see through the ground and through walls. You don't have, so like sort of bit like echolocation, so you can set orders. It's like you know the cave's there by ultrasound, we don't know why. You know, it's also got, and this is granite pillars, where we don't have any granite pillars. We're not making any. Because they're over here. And we also have granite chunks. So what we're going to do is Well, we're going to build some granite chunks because we know we can sell them at Crime. And then we're going to sell, and then we're going to craft 2 granite pillars. We don't need the chunk blocks of granite for the granite pillars. We just need the chunks. But blocks of granite also help because they can be used to restore building health, as well as being able to sell. So a lot of the time we're going to be building stuff, not because we need to build stuff, but because we want to build stuff. Speaking of which, so I mean they're all set to upgrade their hammers for now. So basically, okay, crafting. Many buildings in Hammerting allow for the crafting of various items useful to dwarven kind. Select a crafting recipe from the menu on the left and click the large red button on the right in order to order the production of 1 unit of the item in question. Once a production has been queued, all available dwarves will automatically haul the required inputs to the crafting building and proceed to craft the requested item whenever all inputs have been provided. Dwarves' crafting speed is determined by the required skill in the materials used, its level in the profession relevant to the craft, the dwarf attributes relevant to that profession, and the tool skill provided by the tool being used. Quite simple. See, everything's been crafted. We should have a lantern being delivered soon. Yep, it's in there. It will be delivered soon enough. In fact, we completed that. One's already been delivered, and there was another one because we decided we want to keep one in hand at all times because we can. Okay, let's learn about movement. Now this is a complex one. Dwarves and the creatures they encounter can traverse their surroundings in a variety of ways. If a dwarf is stuck deep in the cave, or seemingly refusing to complete a task, it may well be that they are unable to find a safe path. Here is the dwarf's complete movement set. Note that a bit of headroom is always required. Running on the terrain and scaling single blocks is the bread and butter of getting about. As you can see, yeah. Dwarves can climb vertically with relatively ease, although they prefer to take stairs or elevators when possible. Dwarves can jump straight up to grab a wall and climb from there. Needless to say, there's a limit on how a dwarf can jump. I believe it's about 3 squares. Dwarves may also decide to jump off a cliff edge and fall a short distance. Word of caution, some dwarves may feel safe in dropping down to places where they cannot get back up too easily. Jumping across gaps is also possible. Additionally, dwarves can of course use infrastructure such as stairs, railways and elevators to get around. So, there's a small vault, and what it does, it increases our max, and now we can hold up to 10 gold, which is good. we're going to set them to do some new tasks though, because if we look at the stuff we've got here, we can make a cook's ladle, a farmer's rake, or a pickaxe. Now we want to craft a pickaxe. Now we're going to move that up because I want everyone to do the blacksmith's hammer first, so they're making tools faster. And then they get to make a pickaxe, which requires one handle, which we already have, and one pickaxe head, of which we have the light pickaxe. So, sturdy pickaxe for hewing rocks from the mountain, and in it a glorious home. A light pickaxe head made from metal, meek but profoundly useful. Okay, so we'll pop you there. I do. Now they'll start Now they'll start working on those and start upgrading their pickaxes in the same way as they upgraded all their hammers. Right, we're going to go to Zakov, and you can see we've explored a little bit around. We've not found anything yet, but we found that we can sell a few things. Trade level is one off. We can sell granite pillars. Well, okay, we'll sell granite pillars. They're good. They don't need any more blocks of granite. Still don't want to sell the water. Now we could sell stuff that's not in demand. I mean, we could sell another lantern to them for quite a bit of cash. It's not in demand, but hey, we've got it spare, and they'll build another one eventually. Can also, if we look at the tools, and we've got a spare tool, one spare tool we can sell to them. And we can sell the sledgehammers. So we'll just sell them then. The rest we're going to keep for now. Now the interesting thing is, wood is going to be a very rare, probably the rarest thing, and the thing you need most of in this game. Turns out there's no way to get wood other than trading. But we'll do that because we should, hopefully, let them work away, people away at what they're doing. Okay, so we should have enough to get another dwarf, which is a Goril Ginsterval. We're going to hire her. Basically, she's from Clan Rockcrusher, same as all the others. Yay! She is a fire dancer. This dwarf has been seen alone on long winter nights, when the cold claws through the Mountainhome, dancing with flames from blasting furnaces. She's also fleet-footed. The unusual speed and deftness of this dwarf has not afforded it a good school in courage. So, fleet-footed increases movement speed by 10 and deftness by 1, but decreases maximum morale. So she's a bit cowardly. But the fire dancer increases her metallurgist level by 2 and increases her fervour by 2. So we're going to hire her. And we can't get any more because we don't have enough sovereignty. Could dismiss these, won't bother. And that's... So we've added another dwarf for now. How's our tree going? Let's have a look. We still haven't sold all their stuff to them yet. But we sold some pillars to them. And we've completed the mission we needed to get our trade law. So we can finally build our dwelling. Okay, so let's go to knowledge. We want to go Dwarven trade relations to get our dwelling. And we're going to build it. Now, you can build it pretty much anywhere, but I have a certain designer I like to go with. So, dwelling. Okay. There. And we'll drop it down one. There, drop it down one, because it's roughly the same size as the stone quarry and a lot of the other smaller ones. So you can create some quite formalised thing. Now, we can build that, but they can't get there because no dwarf can get there. So what we need to do, we need to build some infrastructure, which is all of this, which is great. And the one we'll use most is the scaffold stair. And the reason I do that is because I know I can get 4 sets of stairs in there, so that's a small ladder, and it's very good. And each of those takes granite chunks. So let's get the stairs built. We'll also need 2 blocks of granite. Well, we're already doing. What did I do? 1. Well, okay, we'll put that up to 2. Do that. 2 granite pillars, we need an ingot of some type, and we need some lumber. Now we've got lumber, because this is reclaimed lumber. So we don't need to buy any at the moment. But basically that's how infrastructure works. As we dig down. I mean, I could have built it up if I really wanted to, but I don't. Now what this is basically a small platform, which is a walk platform and a ladder. So it's essentially a scaffold. So we're going to be using a lot of this because this will help us get to the areas we can't reach. Honestly, a lot of the exploring in this game basically involves playing with scaffolds. Digging up, digging down, rescuing dwarves, and stuff like that. For example, we can build this scaffold here, and build it up there, and they'll be able to get that little bit of mine there. And it just gives the look of some scaffoldy goodness, really. As well as that, we can do a scaffold over to there, so that they can get that. Where else have you? Oh, we've got some here. Now, infrastructure is built in front of rooms. Split that. So you can see these count as rooms. Now we're building quite a bit of infrastructure at the moment, now that you've learned how to do it. Just to... it gives it that rural look, to be honest. And we've got some dwarves who have earned more levels. Let's have a look at those. On off. Let's have a look. Greed is excellent. Truly blessed among dwarven kind, this dwarf has found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or at least, at the very least, coming to a sizable fortune of its own, and feels a nearer perfect lasting sensation with its level of affluence, combined with a profound sense of being one lucky dwarf. Yes. Now you're level 10. And we've opened up Fearless Brawler. which increases fervour by 1, increases militia level by 2. Heart and fists, grown hard from use, this dwarf pulls no punches and takes them on the chin. Like I said, very, very robust dwarves. So, yep, can become a fearless brawler. You again can become a fearless brawler. All you need to have is rugged mindset to open that up. We have down here, we have a Gorel, who is also extremely robust, so we'll give her a rugged mindset. You can see where we're going with this. What does Rista want? Okay. Her fervour is up, followed by awareness. We got these two as well, but that's robustness and wisdom. So awareness next up is deafness. Okay, let's have a look. Spelunker Scout. A Spelunker Scout is accustomed to life in the caves and moves through the cracks in the mountain with ease. So movement speed by 15%, deafness +1, awareness +1. While we're here, let's have a look. Dreaming of pints. Awareness. This dwarf is dreaming of a strong pint poured in a tall cold glass. Could be beer, could be Logan rum, but it could definitely be something. Awareness +1. Yep, dwarves be dwarves. Okay, so we've constructed our dwelling, and now we get to assign it. And since nobody needs any, we have no one who needs one, we're just going to give it to Rista. And that completes that. Okay, next quest was to formalise learning. Formalised learning is here, and in order to do that we need subterranean farming. So let's acquire some subterranean farming. Which has given us a new one mission. I'll actually read out subterranean farming because it's the last of the tier ones. The knowledge of subterranean farming allows us to construct cave farms, potentially reducing our dependence on food imports to sustain the colony. Various species of cavern fungi exist, each with their own set of preferences for heat and moisture. The accomplished garden dwarf does well to first sow where he expects to reap. Vulnerable fern, royal horticulturalist. So, we need to... The hardness of the stone around us is softened everywhere by faint seams of soil, damp with the cold breath of the mountain. Here strange ferns and mushrooms take root and grow tall, and here do little trickles of water spring forth from deep wells. There is life in the dark, placed here by a kind providence. Let us sow and reap. Okay, so we need to craft 5 tomcat mushrooms and craft 5 water, both of which come from the cave farm, which we're going to put over here. We're going to put that there. Now, it's saying that we need 2 crushed granites and 2 slabs. We ain't good doing those, so we'll put those in. 2 crushed granite. Useful material for laying building foundations or growing beds for the various plants and mushrooms that grow in the dark. Okay. I don't need 10. We want 2. Okay. Now crushed granite is useful as well because it restores fertility, and we will need them for our farms. We also have a granite slab. A slab of granite to provide a level plane to build on or smooth finish to a surface. Pop that round. We're going to put you slightly above the pillars because granite slabs can also be used to build bridges. And so they'd be useful infrastructure if we decide to go that route. And you don't necessarily have to wait until you need something before you go and get them, basically, before you start crafting. It can take a bit of time because basically building these infrastructure, what they do is they take the crushed granite, they go and then build. And they don't carry a lot of crushed granite at a time. Normally it's only enough to do 1, maybe 2 platforms before they build it, because they only take what they need for a job, and each platform counts as a separate job. It'd be nice if they improved that bit. A lot of it also has to do with how much they can actually carry at a time. But for example, for Amma, she's got 2 to do a scaffold, and she's going to deliver it rather than take 2 more. But yeah, okay. So robustness. Wow, and that Yeoman Farmer we've just opened up. A yeoman farmer knows the seasons of the various plants that grow in the dark underworld, tending them with care and joy. Farmer level +1, robustness +1, wisdom +1. Okay. He's safe and secure. This dwarf is well taken care of and feels safe and secure in its possessions and in the Mountainhome, and is ready to face any challenge with increased fervour. Fervour +1. And dreaming of pints. So you're going to go and become a yeoman farmer, which puts farmer up second highest behind blacksmith. Speaking of which, we also have a tool for farming, which is the farmer's rake. So let's have that. Copy up the tools. You need a rake with sharp tines to claw bountiful harvest from the soil. A rake head with tines in sets of 4 to crown a farmer's rake once for every season. Okay. So yeah, you can go 4 tines rake. Okay, well, I've just seen how long. See, it's easy to lose in this, especially when you're talking and doing it. And this is already an hour long, so I am going to wait for the farm to finish and pause it while we'll set up what we need for the reaping folk and sowing. Okay, so that's the farm finished. Got this stuff. Now what we need is 5 Tomcat mushrooms. Heavy blue caps of tomcat mushrooms spring up with regularity wherever the rain of pixacids fall hard on the mountain. So we want 5 of you. And when we want water, which we got, but improves morale. We've now got source of water in the source of water for us, so we can get rid of that. We don't need 10. We want 5 of those as well. Won't craft 5 because we've got 5, so what we're going to do is sell 5 just because we can, and we're going to sell the other stuff that's in demand as well. There you go. But I'm going to leave it there. So what's this? Go back. LP1, so we're LP2, okay. It's another thing. It would be nice if you could see the previous saves when you're naming a save. But that will improve, I'm sure. So this has been Vane doing Let's Play Hammerting Early Access. If you like what you're seeing here, be sure to like, subscribe, share and comment. Please consider sponsoring me on Patreon. And until next time, goodbye.